Week 9 of the NFL here on the Sports Channel. Tonight we travel to Indianapolis, Indiana, where the 2-5 Colts face the unbeaten New York Giants. The normally deafening Hoosier Dome crowd have been almost silenced by their team's failure, and the loudest noise lately have been the boos that follow Eric Dickerson's every move. 3 weeks ago, Dickerson ended a contract holdout and signed for $11 million. The combination of that huge figure, his absence at the start of the season, and his lack of results since returning have turned him into the scapegoat for the crowd. The Colts' hopes for this season were centered on quarterback Jeff George, a local college hero tempted to turn professional early by another huge contract. But asking a rookie to turn around a team that offered him limited protection was always a long shot. Coach Ron Meyer has had some bad weeks lately, but last week's loss to Miami must have been especially frustrating after backing the experience of quarterback Jack Trudeau over the much-publicized rookie.
Trips left and run a 90 because I want to run at those guys. I don't want to chase them down. No check with me, just trips left, 90, and get it out of there. Does that make sense to everybody? Oh, no. He fumbled the ball. Who's got it? How many times I have to say quarterback center exchange? We can't even do the basics.
What happened in there, Al? He just fumbled a snap?
I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
By the time I looked in there, he was scrambling for it.
Boy, oh boy. What a way to start a ball game. All right, let's go.
And get a turnover. Get a turnover. Oh, we need a turnover. 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 Run! Knock it out of there. Oh, he got it. Ball. Pick it up and go. Ball. Go. 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 Yeah. All right, Chip. Yes, sir. Get up the field. Get up the field. Go. 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 Jeff. Now listen, be smart out there and don't try to sing you got to score once before you score twice. Secondly, don't get yourself hurt. Is he hurt too?
In contrast, the Giants have had their best ever start to a season. Phil Simms has led an impressive offense, featuring veteran running back Otis Anderson. Dave Meggett has produced moments of magic, and once again, Lawrence Taylor has proved why he is the most fearsome defensive force in the NFL.
Hey, baby, let's go out there like a bunch of crazy dogs and have some fun.
So let's go over now to our ABC Monday Night Football team of Al Michaels, Dan Deardoff and Frank Gifford. But first...
Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis, Indiana on a damp, blustery Midwestern evening. But inside, a capacity crowd, 60,000 plus on hand, as the New York Giants are in town to take on the Indianapolis Colts.
Dean Biasucci to kick off for the Indianapolis Colts, and he booms one through the end zone, so there'll be no run back by Dave Meggett or Rodney Hampton. Here come the Giants. Phil Simms celebrated his 35th birthday over the weekend. 10 touchdown passes and 1 interception, and that was opening night against Philadelphia. Anderson and Carton with him in the backfield at the outset. Ingram and Baker are the wideouts. Bavaro is healthy, the tight end. And when he's healthy, the Giants are a whole other team. Moore, Roberts, Oates, Kratch, and Riesenberg, the interior linemen, as the Giants set up at the 21st and 10. And this is Otis Anderson for a pickup of about 4. Over the right side, it'll be 2nd down and 6. Now a look at the second and call it 5 from the 25. The Giants with 3 tight ends, and they run Anderson off the left side. And as we stated at the top, the Giants functional and very efficient. They send Anderson over the right side for close to 5, and then bring him back over the left side for nearly 4. And that sets up a 3rd and 1. Anderson, whose career was resurrected in 1986 when he was sent from the Cardinals to New York. And now he is once again the main man in a backfield late in his career. 3rd and call it inches from the 30-yard line. And it is Anderson again, and it's a typical New York beginning. A 1st down as Anderson carries out to the 35, stopped by Bickett.
The one side. Interesting set now for the Giants. Meggett and the #1 draft pick Hampton in there together.
And that's the first time that has happened, as Meggett for a gain of about 2 up to the 37, where he is stopped by Jeff Harrod, who had a big year last year. Team
already displayed great receiving ability out of the backfield. Well, the Giants, in this case, can go with 2 tight ends and still not lose any effectiveness with receivers.
2nd and 8. Giants from the 36-yard line. Sims protected well, flips it out for Meggett, who had to wait for it to float into his hands, and he is stopped back of the line of scrimmage. Not a well-developed screen as Mike Pryor comes up to make the stop. It'll be 3rd.
Part of their offensive attack, number 86, there in the slot.
Meggett in motion. On 3rd and 9, Sims hits Hampton for a 1st down, and he's tackled at the 50 by Jeff Harrod. Rodney Hampton opted to come out after his junior year at Georgia. The Giants picked him #1, and when we saw him in preseason, the first time he handled the ball at Buffalo, he went 90 yards for a touchdown.
Boy, one of the things of beauty on that play is how they ran Hampton right up through the line of scrimmage. He got lost in his play fake, and it's not often you'll run a guy over center to get him out into the pass pattern, and that's what happened that time. Take a look at this. You see Hampton there to the right of your screen. There he goes right up into the middle, and Harrod loses him for just that 1 step it takes. Well-designed play by the Giants.
1st and 10 from the 50. The play fake to Anderson. A lot of time for Sims. Sims goes deep, and it's incomplete. And Stephen Baker and Eugene Daniel both going down. And I have a feeling, as Baker looks at the official, that the side judge decided it was an uncatchable ball. No interference.
And it was uncatchable. The ball looked to be a good 4 yards overthrown. Watch the hit, though, that Phil Sims takes from Chip Banks. Maybe we'll see it later. But watch this one right here. This ball, I think, is going to land a good 4 yards beyond Baker. There you see their legs get tangled. The ball comes down almost to the goal line. I think that's a pretty good call by the official, and that is clearly inadvertent.
2nd and 10 from the 50. With Cross in motion. And it's Anderson unable to exploit a block from Cross as Fred Young comes in to break the play up along with Mike Pryor. And it will be 3rd and 11. Motion. Sims with a lot of time again, looking for Stephen Baker, and Baker makes the catch at the 11-yard line. He got by Eugene Daniel, and Baker really beginning to emerge lately as the Giants look for that one wideout, that one receiver who can turn into big play, and it's been Baker the last couple of weeks.
When you add the 4 wide receivers in there, you're going to get individual coverage, and the Giants got it on the man they wanted, Eugene Daniel. They worked on him twice now. Baker gave a little in move, got behind him with a great speed, and Baker, as Al pointed out, has become a big offensive tool for the Giants recently. I mean, he has great speed, not too big, but he has played very large and averaging well over 21 yards a catch.
And there were the Colts again, giving up a 3rd and long. It was 3rd and 11 in his movement this time, and no play is
developed at the left tackle spot for the Giants.
1st and 15 from the 15. They can get a 1st down without a touchdown. Baker in motion. Sims look toward Baker and then gets buried at the 22-yard line as Sam Clancy gets the sack. Former basketball player out of the University of Pittsburgh.
Just about a coverage sack. Phil Sims had a lot of time to get rid of the ball, and it's just good coverage as the Colts.
A sack at that situation. It is not the end of the world.
Not like an interception would be.
2nd and 21 from the 22. They set up the screen, and Anderson, who gets to the 16-yard line, We lost our picture for a moment, and what you missed was, as we described, Anderson catching a screen pass. Young making the tackle. It picks up about 6 yards, and it's 3rd down and 15 from the 16.
Take a look at Mike Polk signaling the next play in, and here is the screen. And Roberts, number 66, is out in front of it. Anderson tries to break it back in, sees nothing there, goes outside and picks up a few yards.
Sims to the 10-yard line. It's complete there to Dave Meggett, but he is stopped at the 7, and the Giants will have to settle for a field goal attempt as Harrod, Taylor, and Pryor converge on the tackle.
Interesting, too, Al. Giants have used up more than half of the first quarter. This is the characteristic part of the Giants offensive unit. They control their offense. They do very high percentage things, and they use that clock.
Matt Barr to attempt a 23-yard field goal. Hostetler will put it down at the 13. And the Colts came charging through and nearly got the block, but he boots it through. Eugene Daniels stretching out, nearly got a hand on it. So Sims guides them down for a field goal off the opening drive. And with 6:40 to go in the quarter, the Giants draw first blood. Ron Stark, one of the very best in the league for years. In fact, a good punting duel looms tonight. Stark and Sean Landetta.
This man, you just took a look at, Dave Meggett, leads the National Football League in punt returns.
And Meggett from the 29-yard line eludes a tackle and makes something out of nothing as he takes it back to the 42. Just about his average return. 13-yard run back after a 44-yard kick. Here are the Giants from the 42-yard line. Sims on first down, dumps it off to Anderson with a lot of blocking. And O.J. takes it to the 45 of Indianapolis. A 13-yard gain. Daniel makes the stop.
Well, you knew with Otis Anderson in the backfield on first down, if it's a running play, they were going to hand it to him. And if they were going to throw the ball, chances are they were going to throw it to him as well. Look at the timing. The patience of Anderson remaining in there, staying hidden in the backfield, and then going to the middle of the field. You saw right there he had a choice. Do I take it to the sidelines, or do I just move upfield and pick up positive yardage? Well, that's a decision Anderson will always make, to go upfield.
1st and 10. Anderson again for 5 functional yards to the 40. It'll be 2nd and 5.
And then all of a sudden they punted the Giants deep into their own territory to the 1. They gave the ball to Anderson 6 consecutive times until he got close to midfield.
And his running is the reason you see that 10 consecutive wins down there.
Those are regular season wins. There was one playoff loss thrown in there to the Rams in overtime. Here's Anderson on 2nd and 5. And this time the Colts are able to stop him. Harrod and Keith Taylor,
with Hampton and Meggett, or they can use them as the 4 wide receivers.
You saw Manuel come in with the play. He's in the slot to the right. Ingram outside on the right. Baker to the left, and Hampton in motion out of the gun. And they keep it on the ground and give it to Meggett. And Meggett squirts forward and picks up the first down as he gets to the 32. Harrod makes the stop.
Meggett is 5'7" to 180 pounders, and if you haven't seen him that much, they test these things in football players now. He weighs 180 pounds, and he tested out at 4% body fat. He is very small but very strong, and we talked about him with Ron Meyer last night. He looked at us and quietly said Meggett is good, real good. And he has been so effective over the past couple of weeks.
From the 32-yard line, the fake to Carthen. And then Sims floats one perfectly to the 15-yard line to Dave Meggett.
We're seeing a lot of Dave Meggett. And the Giants have been seeing a lot of him over the past couple of weeks. A moment ago, carried the ball over in the right side. That time, little flare, split the zone of the Colts and was wide open. Good pass by Phil Sims with plenty of protection. Behind one and in front of another.
Perfect touch. Sims has already thrown for 100 yards tonight. He is 7 of his first 8. Under a minute to play in the quarter. Giants leading 3-0. First down. Here's Anderson behind Carthen to the 8-yard line. He is stopped by Tony Siragusa.
The second quarter.
There are the numbers. The only time you ever want to see a 0 on your side is under turnovers. I can't recall seeing that. No first downs, no rushing yards for the Colts.
Well, Ron Meyer told us he didn't expect to win the game running the football. I see that stat is borne out right there. This could be tough for the men in blue if they don't batten the hatches now.
2nd and 4 as we start the second quarter. The Giants from the 8, and it's Anderson who gets to the outside and is just short of the first down, and a flag is thrown for a possible face mask infraction.
Well, it'll be a face mask if Otis makes the call. You could see him beseeching the referee that someone grabbed his face mask. Chip Banks was the linebacker to that side who made the initial.
Face mask, number 51. Incidental.
Watch Banks there, number 51. Let's see. Yep, you can see the left hand right there on the face mask. He gets the incidental variety, which is only a 5-yarder, but it moves the sticks halfway down to the goal line. Chip Banks, formerly with San Diego, an all-pro player prior to his arrival here in Indianapolis. Right now, though, the line of scrimmage is being owned by these guys. They are just dominating and erasing the Colt defense at the line.
1st and goal, New York from the 2. Anderson. And he is in there. Touchdown. Late signal by the official, but Anderson breaks the plane, and the Giants lead 9-0.
Just as you said it, Dan, they blew right back into the end zone.
Number 75 for Otis, and he moves past Leroy Kelly and Earl Campbell into spot number 9 in NFL history in that category.
Here's Anderson again, just zone blocking straight ahead on the part of the Giants, and then Anderson just surges ahead, gets into the end zone, made it look awfully easy.
The way this game's going, he may get number 76 and number 77 and outside chance at number 78.
Matt Barr kicks it through, and so the Giants march all the way down the field after taking the punt. Anderson scores from the 2, and just like that, in the opening seconds of the second quarter, 10-0 Gotham. As the Colts have been unable to get anything going, and the Giants have had 2 long drives, resulting in a field goal and a touchdown. And here is Lewis Tillman, who has been seldomly used in the last few weeks after the Giants ran him a lot in the first 3 weeks. Young and Taylor converge on the tackle. 9:39 remaining, and that is not a very bright scenario or sight for the Giants as Mark Bavaro gets helped off, and we will check on his condition post-haste as Carthen takes it out to the 36-yard line, close to a first down. And Frank, it's quite clear that the Giants are a different team when that man is healthy and in there.
Boy, that's not a good sign, Frank, with the knee pad up in the air.
That's Dr. Russell Warren, the Giants orthopedist, and the trainer Ronnie Barnes looking at that knee. And of course, if you talk to the Giants, they'll all tell you when you ask them what do they need to go all the way, they always get around to saying, well, we need Mark Bavaro at 100%. He has not been 100% yet. He's very close to it, but now I'm sure there are some sinking feelings on that sideline.
1st and 10 from the 36. And a gain of about 7 for Dave Meggett. Mike Pryor.
Well, I'll tell you, this little man, as we watched him this evening, is really emerging as a great part of the Giants offense. He can work as a wide receiver from the backfield. He can be in the slot. He can do just about anything you ask him to do. More than that, he's leading the league in punt returns and a good kickoff return man. What an athlete.
You know, Frank, you hear his name mentioned a lot of times with Eric Metcalf, the back with Cleveland. One of the things you see Meggett do so well, he runs between the tackles. He may be small, but yet he challenges for the tough yardage inside.
2nd and 2 from the 44. Play clock down to 3. Sims buys a little more time and then converts as he hits Bob Marasco, the Plan B pickup from the Houston Oilers when they went to the run and shoot in Houston. Marasco didn't have a home anymore and opted to sign with the Giants.
He was a starter for
Sims, 8 of 9 for 116 yards. First down at the 40. And here is Tillman picking up a couple, and Bavaro back in. So Mark Bavaro, it was a most anxious moment for every Giant fan to see him with that knee pad raised on the bench, but back in.
But more than that, the way he left the field, it looked as though it was some kind of a serious injury. You don't like to speculate, Dan, but you've had a knee surgery, and every now and then when you stretch it a little more, maybe you pull a little adhesion or something like that, it scares you more than anything.
That was obvious because you could see the grimacing on the part of Bavaro, but on the toughness meter, he's off of it.
2nd and 7, 6:20 to go in the half. Sims dumps it out to Tillman, and he gets hit hard by Chip Banks at the 39-yard line.
Now and then. Let's see if they can put some pressure on here.
3rd and 8. And again, here's where the Colts have been so vulnerable all season. 3rd and long. And it's continued tonight. And this time they're able to break the play up. It's a deflection. There's a flag down. All kinds of action. Taylor was the guy who popped Mark Ingram, and then the ball floated back toward the line of scrimmage as a flag was thrown for the contact.
Defensive pass interference, number 27.
And it's Keith Taylor for the defensive pass interference, and again, the Colts yield a 3rd and long.
Taylor getting into Ingram before the ball. He tried to time it out. As we go back and look at Ingram, who is another rapidly developing Giant. And you can see Taylor banged him on the head before the ball even was near his hands.
1st and 10 at the 29-yard line. Sims off a roll. Bavaro is the open man, and he takes it to the 20 on a similar type of play. They exploited that same pattern for a touchdown last week against Washington.
Mark Bavaro, so many teams will still try to cover him with the linebacker. Here he comes in with a little block, spins to the outside. Obviously, Banks, number 51, the linebacker, is assigned to him, at least in the short part of the zone. And Sims with the little roll puts it right in his hands.
Down blocking, because Mark Bavaro for a couple of years was the best blocking tight end I saw in the National Football League. You have to honor that block.
Sims 148 straight passes without an INT, and here's a first down and a lot more. It'll be 1st and goal as Lewis Tillman takes it to the 2.
As you watch Tillman, he of course was the one who broke so many of Walter Payton's records out of Jackson State a few years ago. You realize the wonderful problems that Bill Parcells has. Now, Tillman has not played that much over the past couple of weeks, and you can see right here he's a first-class running back. Meanwhile, on the bench is your #1 draft pick, Rodney Hampton, and we already have watched what Otis Anderson can do. And then you got Dave Meggett. Not bad problems.
Oh, and they're all, I think they're all just dying for a shot at this defense.
Well, look what Miami did to him last week. Same thing. 1st and goal from the 3. Here is Anderson, and he gets in for the touchdown.
You talked about Miami. Of course, the Dolphins trounced the Colts last week. Earlier in the year, the Giants beat the Dolphins 20-3, and they held Miami to under 40 yards rushing. Last week against this Colts defense, Miami rushed for over 200 yards. So lots of problems for Ron Meyer.
76th rushing touchdown of Anderson's career, ties him with Pete Johnson, and he's one behind Tony Dorsett. Barr's extra point is good. Otis tonight, 10 carries for 34 yards, gets in twice, and the Gents lead 17-0.
Second effort again. Otis straightened up right at the goal line and just surges into the end zone to put the 6 on the board.
Colts with the sole first down in this half. Giants trying to wrap it up by halftime as Sims has it deflected and intercepted, and finally something to cheer about as Mike Pryor takes it off the deflection by Keith Taylor, intended for Mark Bavaro. Keith Taylor tipped it, and a little skirmish along the Giants bench. Flag is down as well.
And they're going to pick that up. So obviously against the Giants, the Colts will take over, but the skirmish on the sideline continues.
Holding. Offense. Number 16. Decline. First down.
Number what? Number 16. That's Frank Gifford.
Number 16, holding offense. Watch Sims. He tried to squeeze that into that zone. Sometimes Phil gets a little too confident with his own ability, and he tried to squeeze that into Bavaro, and I did not hold. I've done a lot of things, but I think he meant number 60. In any event, it'll turn over to the Colts.
First down from the 30. Jeff George. And it's incomplete, intended for Albert Bentley. He is such a detrimental influence to the team. I think the Colts tried to trade him, couldn't get what they wanted for him, were forced or compelled to sign him, and now they've got a $10 million deal, granted non-guaranteed. But I think they're in for a horrendously long year. Third down and 2 from the 38-yard line. This is the Colts' deepest penetration, if you can believe it. And a little looper to Dickerson. He breaks the tackle and then gets taken out of bounds short of the first down by Greg Jackson.
And he broke the tackle of one of the best around, Dave Dorson. So Eric Dickerson can do it. He'll give you the big play, but does he do it consistently like he used to when he was with the Rams? Everything was designed for him when he first came here. He took them to a division, but they designed the entire offense for Eric Dickerson. And it just, I don't think, is there either anymore when you design the whole thing for him. And when you get caught in the middle, I mean, you lose both ways.
Stark to kick. And Megan's just going to let it bounce. And the Colts will take any small victory in a storm, and they down it at the 3-yard line with just a few seconds remaining. Again, the clock has gone out. Where time stands still, and Sims downs it. Giants, a very efficient and methodical and fruitful first half.
Backs. Guess who's winning? 44 total yards for the Indianapolis Colts and 2 last year. Well, you can see that they only have 2 defensive linemen in there, but when you have LT and you have Pepper Johnson still in there, you're getting a rush.
3rd and 5. And they give it to Bentley, and that doesn't fool anybody. He breaks the first couple of attempts, but then gets buried at the 38 by Johnson.
Lawrence almost had Jeff George and Bentley. He almost took the handoff. This is Lawrence Taylor. Watch him just crash left guard, and my gosh, Randy Dixon doesn't even get a lick on Taylor at all. That's what you call disrupting the blocking scheme.
4th down, and the Colts are going to go for it. They're down by 17. Granted, it's early, but you might as well, because otherwise you're looking at a 54-yard field goal attempt. From the 37-yard line, 4th down and 7.
Well, I think I'd have to punt this ball away and try and pin them inside the 10. I mean, it is still only 17-0.
They have to get to the 30-yard line, and he hits Brooks for a first down. Billy Brooks. Stopped by Walls.
And I couldn't agree with Dan more, but that was a perfect pass thrown by Jeff George. They didn't even have an underneath man, no checkoff man whatsoever. If he hadn't got that pass in there, and it was beautifully thrown, you know, he would be almost writing this game off. Yeah, look how they rolled George out of the pocket. He drifted to his
20-yard line. And George throws a little out pattern to Hester for a gain of 7 to the 13-yard line. Myron Guyton bumps him out.
Giants back in a 3-4 defense.
2nd and 3. Here's Dickerson. A hard yard. Gary Reason's the first to hit him. And it's going to be 3rd and about 2.
Yeah, right, Coach. We hear you. Yeah.
We've heard that before.
3rd and 2 with Hester in motion. George, look out from the backside, and then is lucky it wasn't intercepted. He tried to hit Hester as Taylor came flying in, and Greg Jackson had it and couldn't hold it.
Lawrence gets the flag, and they're going to call a personal foul roughing the passer. And Taylor doesn't get this very often. Here he beats Moss, spins right around him. George has delivered the ball. I think they could say he hit him in the face with the forearm, which he did, and brought the flag.
I think that's a good start right there, getting up from a shot like that.
1st and goal from the 6. A 74-yard drive to this point. Brooks in motion. And George throws underneath. The catch is made at the 1. It is Billy Brooks. 2nd and goal. They come up with Bentley as the fullback, and Dickerson as the tailback, and Anthony Johnson on a wing. And Johnson in motion. Fake to Dickerson, and George lost it too deep, intended for the tight end Pat Beach, who got tangled up with Gary Reasons.
Good coverage by Gary Reasons, and
that was an uncatchable ball. A little closer, that might have drawn a flag.
Bentley, touchdown.
Well, Albert Bentley never made it across the goal line, but the football did. That's risky. That's a good way to get it knocked out of your hands, but that was the only play afforded to Albert Bentley because he did not get across the goal line. He got the ball across.
Well, what the Colts did on that drive is they kept it going with that 4th down conversion.
Yeah. And a great pass by George to Brooks.
Look at Bentley reach that football across. Well, you know, it really worked out well. It worked out well on that 4th down, but I still look back at it and say I would have punted the ball. I mean, 17-0 early in the 3rd quarter.
Well, I like that call only because, and I'm not saying this after the fact, but it's the one thing that was going to get Indy back in the game. 17-7 as the Giants will get the ball for the first time in the 3rd quarter. Piasucci's kick. Here's Hampton, the rookie. And Rodney gets pushed out of bounds up at the 29. So the Colts went 80 yards in 14 plays in a drive that took almost a game. It is 17-7. New York has it from the 30, 1st and 10. Otis Anderson begins where he left off. Sam Clancy, after a gain of 6, makes tonight.
The Colts and offensively have made a play, but defensively they are going to have to tighten up.
2nd and 4. Anderson again. He's out to the 40, and that's very close to a 1st down. 6:45 remaining in the 3rd quarter. One thing about Anderson, he is about as sure-handed as they come. With the Cardinals, he fumbled once every 41 times he handled the ball, but since coming to the Giants in 86, look at that, once every 194 handles.
And don't jump to any conclusions about that once every 41 carries, because that was right about the NFL average for a running back. So he was never really known as a fumbler, but since he came to New York, I guess a lot of that is concentration and the way Bill Parcells puts an emphasis on it.
On 1st and 10, here's Bavaro. And the Giants tight end takes it into Indy territory, and that's close to a 1st down. Fred Young and Jeff Harrod converge on the stop.
There with Dave Meggett. I got a feeling they're going to go right back to the basics, and this man is Mr. Basics.
Anderson, about 4, tackled by Young and Pryor and others.
Well, you see Cratch and Harvey Armstrong get into it. Armstrong came up well after the play was over and gave Cratch a shot right in the back.
Under 5 minutes to go in period. 2nd and 6. Sims, little safety valve to Anderson, and he gets wrestled down as he reaches the 40-yard line. Fred Young, the first to hit him. And he is a little bit short of the first down.
We talk so much about Otis Anderson being a strong running back and the contribution he's made to the Giants, but when he was with the Cardinals, he was a tremendous receiver. He had a couple of years when he caught over 50. When he had 1 year went up to 60 receptions, so he just does it all out there.
I think he had 1 year over 70, did he not? When the Cardinals were still in St. Louis.
3rd and 1. And did Carson make it or not? Very close.
He got down low enough, and it looks like he does have it. Carson, the quiet one for the Giants. Good, solid blocker for Anderson. He's quiet, but he gains a lot of respect. When Carson
First several years in the league, and then basically had 4 years off. And what Parcells calling one time, he's my Elvis.
On first down, the pass is too high as Bavaro got one hand on it, and then it was nearly picked off by Chris Good at the Colts 40. And Sims gets sacked at the 48-yard line by Chip Banks.
As Dan pointed out earlier, one defensive player that has performed tonight has been Chip Banks from the very outset.
Colts trying to really get back in it, down by 10. A little screen set up to Hampton. He's inside the 40, seeking the first down, gets to the 30. He's about a yard short with a great effort.
An injured player down. Here's Hampton again. A little middle screen. It was a good call, very safe. What Parcells did not want to do is to turn it over, try to go deep to an outside receiver. So he comes with a middle screen, and Hampton comes very close to the first down. They work on the injured.
It's 4th down and 1, and the Giants will go for it.
They're 6 of 11 thus far this season, not nearly as successful as they were a year ago.
Anderson, the sole running back in this set. He gets the ball, he gets the first down, and the Giants keep the drive alive, taking it to the 24. So the big play on the 3rd down and 18. Hampton gets 17, and then Anderson takes him to a first down.
Their wide receiver, Odessa Turner.
How happy is that bone that it's a non-weight-bearing bone when it's in the lower leg of Jumbo Elliott?
Fibula, skier's bone.
First down from the 24. Meggett. Stopped by Fred Young after a gain of a couple. Rapidly moving 3rd quarter. The Colts had the ball for half the period, and the Giants have had it for almost the balance as the clock is down to 1:28 remaining.
Talking earlier about Phil Sims and Otis Anderson being the same backfield. George Young told me the other day that in 1979 the Giants drafted in the 7th round, and had Phil Sims been gone at that time, they would have drafted Otis Anderson. As it is, the Giants took Sims in the 7th round, the Cardinals took him in the 8th, and now these many years later, nevertheless, they're in the same backfield together.
2nd and 8. Sims throws to Meggett. He loses the football, and Indianapolis has it at the 12. They're still scuffling, and flags go down, but the signal's already been made. Colts ball.
Oh, and they're pointing at William Roberts. That's Fred Young getting up last from the Colt pile, but again, it's a completion to David Meggett.
66 on the Giants.
Oh, good tackle that time.
Daniel hit him.
Eugene Daniel rather, is the guy that hit him, and the ball comes out, but you could see William Roberts gets flagged for the personal foul, and of course, being a dead ball foul, that's just 15 free yards for the Colts. There's Daniel, 38, making the hit before Meggett really gets a chance to tuck the ball away. Maurice Carson had a shot at it and overshot it.
The Giants came in here with
had to give ground to get off that block. That's why you saw the 5-yard pickup.
3rd and 5. Big rush. Johnson with the sack. The ball is alive. It's picked up by Dave Duerson, the former Bear, and Duerson in for a touchdown.
Well, you knew the minute I talk about not a lot of pressure here in the second half, that would curse the Colts, and that's what happened. Jeff George trying to roll to his left to get away from the coverage. And there was an offensive lineman, Kevin Call, that tried to keep Pepper out of there. Watch it. Here we have it ISO'd for you. Just strictly an upfield rush by Pepper Johnson. And Jeff George never saw him.
Talked about earlier the good year that Pepper is having. Both they leave him in there on their prevent defense, their nickel and their dime defense, and Dave Duerson, the former Bear, takes it in, and all of a sudden it gets very quiet here in the Hoosier Dome.
Barr kicks the extra point. Isn't it interesting? Everson Walls, all of those great years with Dallas, had never scored a touchdown until last week when he runs one back for the Giants. And Dave Duerson, in all those years with Chicago, had never scored, and he scores his first NFL touchdown here tonight. 24-7.
Again, good coverage. Forced George out of the pocket looking for a receiver. Johnson comes around the horn, nails him, and Duerson takes it in.
And that's how it ended as the Giants continued their relentless march towards a titanic clash against the 49ers on December the 3rd, a game you can see here only on the Sports Channel. Well, after the break, we'll have another round of our Super Bowl competition. But for the moment, there's no doubt who's on top of the pile. And so we'll leave you with Dion and King of the New York Streets. See you next week.